You pollute the house and afterwards you renounce the house and say, I don't want this. Why? Keep the word clean of your societal misconceptions. Routine is something that is done on a daily basis. And there are essential things which are necessary and to be done, which are inevitable things, which are very essential things to be done on a daily basis. So what is wrong with that routine? It's a very desirable routine. Routine, the word remaining same, we have to qualify it. It's not a mechanical routine, but it is a very deliberately done essential routine. Deliberately followed essentially routine. And therefore, eating is essential, resting is essential, yukta ahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Bhagavan says proper rest, proper food, proper work, proper interaction, proper mental manoranjan, even just relaxation. It's on a daily basis. You do it again and again and again. You don't do only once per life. Repetition is a must. You have to keep eating anyway. You have to keep breathing. Abhyasa is necessary. I have to keep breathing. If you don't like abhyasa, then you don't repeat anything. If you don't repeat anything, then you can't survive anyway. You have to repeat eating also. Therefore, just as there are so many essential things which are done on a daily basis, which are essential. If it is essential, you are not mechanical. If it is essential, if you see that it is essential, then you are deliberate. The essentialness of a thing cannot be a ritual without understanding what it is for. I can go on as a matter of convention. I can be mechanical. I can be mechanical about conventions. I can be mechanical about habits. I can be mechanical about so many things. That is a mechanical routine. But coming to Vedanta is not a mechanical, it's not a convention. You see the value of it. Like eating is not mechanical. It is essential. You see the value of it. And therefore, having a class on a daily basis with the knowledge that it is essential, like daily breathing is essential. Breathing again and again is necessary. Eating again and again is necessary. Studying Vedanta also is again and again is necessary. Reflection again and again is necessary. It's not that really एक बार reflect कर दिया हो गया, ऐसा थोड़ी है. Because repeated reflection is not anti-shastra. All that Shastra says is truth is not. The knowledge of the truth is not the result of a mere repetition. The knowledge of the truth is the result of Mahavakya. Understanding myself, the self is pointed out only by Mahavakya. The self is not pointed out by some repeatedly. The sense of Mahavakya is to be understood, not merely Mahavakya needs to be. Therefore, repeating a statement is different from repeated reflection on the sense of it. That is Manana. Repetition is there in both the cases. Prasankhya also is repeated. What is the difference between a Vedanti and a Purva Pakshi called Prasankhyanavadi? A Prasankhyanavadi is one who says by simply repeating, I am Brahma, something happens. Even it's not Mere repetition creates knowledge. It is looking at oneself, the right approach, how the drashta, discerning between the drashta and the drishyam. That leads to knowledge. That discerning, viveka, leads to knowledge. But if a person is simply Atma is not Deha, Atma is not Deha, supposing if you go on repeating, it doesn't enlighten a person. Repeating a statement is different from repeated reflection on the sense of it. The sense of Mahavakya is one's own existence. Bapre. The sense of Mahavakya is the sense of the entire Vedanta is one's own existence. Therefore, don't feel, if you repeatedly hear, repeatedly reflect, if you repeatedly make an effort to understand yourself, don't think it is prasankhyanam. It is still Vedanta. Until I understand, I reflect on the sense of it. Okay. Therefore, even if nobody comes, it doesn't matter. If you understand the meaning, understand the value of it. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. So, Vyavahara Avasthayam tu. In Paramartha Avastha, there is no ruler-ruled relationship. There is no creator-created relationship. There is no correlation of any kind. And all other relationships like associations, dissociations, causations, they are all within the realm of that correlation called Dvaitam. But in Paramartha, in actual fact, there is no correlation. And minus correlation, then there is no relation. Because all relationships exist within correlation. No relation can exist outside correlation. Within Gaunekatva, between Abhidhana and Abhidheya, between the Jiva and Jagat. Therefore, Bhagavan says in Paramartha Avastha, there is no Ishitru, Ishitavyadi Vyavahara Abhava. It is absence. There is absence of all this in the truth. Means truth by nature is free from all this. Is the right way of looking at it. The self is by nature free from all this. Don't take it like this. Don't imagine this is absent. That means there is absence. When there is present, then there is no presence, there is no absence also. This is something great, Ji. When there is no presence, when there is no presence of thought, then there is no absence of thought also. Then there is only presence of the self. Therefore, in Paramartha Avastha, there is no universe, means in fact the self is free from the Dvaitam. It exists free from Dvaitam. H2O exists only as H2O, free from vacillating form. Form is looked at from the form drishti, but from Swarupa drishti there is no form. But Vyavahara Avasthayam too, but in Vyavahara Avastha. But in the realm of perception, in the realm of avidya, see, in the realm of Jiva Vyavahara and also in the realm of Shastra Vyavahara, there are two Vyavaharas. One is Avidyaka Vyavahara, Jiva Vyavahara. To remove that avidya, Shastra teaches. That is called Shastra, that is called Samvyavahara. Samvyavahara. Samvyavahara means the right Vyavahara that negates the Vyavahara. The Shastra Vyavahara is that which negates the Avidyaka Vyavahara. Avidyaka Vyavahara. Avidya Kalpita Vyavahara. Vyavahara avasthayam tu ukta, it has been said. Shrutav api, even in Shrauta Vyavahara, even in Shrauta Vyavahara in the realm of teaching, Shrutav api Ishwaradi Vyavahara. Even Shastra does the Vyavahara that this is the creation and there is the source by name Ishvara. Shrutav api Ishwaradi Vyavaharaha. And the Shruti says, Yesha Sarveshwaraha. This is Sarveshwara. He is the truth of all. He is not just really the truth of some. He is the truth of the Jagat, the truth of my body, the truth of the entire correlation. The material form, the entire correlation. Yesha Sarveshwaraha, Yesha Bhutadipatihi, he is the Lord of all the jivas. Yesha Bhutapalaha, he is the one who nourishes all the jivas. He rules all the jivas, meaning every jiva has to look after himself by his own karma and he has to abide by the law of karma. And the law of karma is a part of creation and Bhagavan is the source of the creation. As the source of the creation, Bhagavan is also the source of the law. Actually, you may say he is the law maker. That then becomes a little theological. He is the reality behind the law. There is a law behind. Like in dream also there are laws. And the truth of the entire dream is you, the drashta. But drashta is the truth of the dream laws, not the deliberate maker of them. He is not the deliberate maker of them. But in theologies, what happens immediately? We think God is made, means He thought and they think it is really true that He thought, He has a will and He thinks to make the world. Say, even when Shastra says God made the creation, it is the Tatparyam is that He is conscious, and the Tatparyam is that He is the material, and the Tatparyam is that all that is created is non-separate from the material, and that material, the what? To understand the drashta as the non-Jew. That is the Tatparyam. The Shruti, what it says not to prove what it says, but to unfold what it doesn't say. That is called Vivakshitam. You say something, but you intend to, you mean something. You mean something. Because whatever is said, all that is talked about in the language is meant to show that the truth, the topic of the words, is beyond words. Like you talk about silence and silence and silence, but the silence has become a topic of the language. But when the silence is the topic of the language, but the intention is to convey that silence is free from the language. That is the Tatparyam. In Tatparyam, there is no teacher, there is no student, there is no language. Like sitting in the waking state, you can go on talking about the deep sleep state. if here nahi hai, wo nahi hai, aisa hai, vaisa hai. But then this whole language, this teacher of the Sushupti, the thought of the Sushupti, taught about the Sushupti, the student, the teacher, the literature, none of them is there in the Sushupti, which is the truth. And therefore, when we say God is the maker, it doesn't mean that he has a will and he made it. That's not true. We say God created this universe just to show that the universe is non-separate from God. Bas itna hi hai. That is the tatparya. We say the water created the waves just to tell that the waves are non-separate from water. Bas itna, that is the tatparya. And that culminates in nirviseshatvam. व्यवहार अवस्थायां तु उक्तः श्रुतवपि ईश्वरादि व्यवहारः एष सर्वेश्वरः एष भूताधिपतिः एषः भूतपालः एष सेतुः. Even when we say God nourishes the jivas, I say jivatvam is made of Ishvara, that individuality is made of Ishvara. And jiva as an individual looks after himself only through his karma, but his karma brings him the result as dictated by the law of karma. And the law of karma is inseparable from Ishvara. That way we can say Bhagavan nourishes. God looks after man. God looks after man. There is a lot of distance to cover to understand what it means. You see, otherwise, we become emotional. God looks after me. ऐसा थोड़ी है. You have to make some effort. Your effort can give you the results. When Gajani came, there were priests in Somanath Mandir. And these jokers, they say Bhagavan will come and help us, Bhagavan will come and kill Gajani, etc. ऐसा थोड़ी है. You see, you also do something. He came and killed them all and broke the idols and went. He may get the result in time, that's a different thing. But it is not that really Bhagavan is only not a Bhagavan of only the priests. Bhagavan belongs to so many. But anyway, when we say God looks after us, it only means this. Your right effort will look after it, nothing else. And if you pray to God, hey Bhagavan, that prayer can bring you result. But then it is always understood, God helped me. There is nothing wrong in it to say that really Bhagavan helped me. But actually, what is the procedure that is involved in God helping? I offered a prayer, as a result I got some blessing. That is the result of my own prayer. Every result is a result of either my prayer or the result of my own karma. This makes you a very objective person. And God is a presence. Without His presence, I cannot perform an action. Without God's presence, I cannot be there as an individual. Without God's presence, there is no universe also. So if there is a universe and I am there as an individual, there is God's presence. If there is a law of karma, behind the law of karma there is God's presence. And therefore, if I perform an action, it is due to God's presence. In that sense, Bhagavan is Karmadhyaksha. Without His presence, I can't perform any action. That makes Bhagavan Karmadhyaksha. Without His law of karma, I cannot get the result. That makes Him Karmaphala Data. But to understand how Bhagavan is Karmadhyaksha and Karmaphala Data, you have to enter Vedanta ji. To understand. You can simply believe it. God gives me everything else. But when it comes to understanding, it's a different topic. It's a different thing altogether. Believing is a different thing. Taking an idea for granted is different. Taking a principle for granted is different. But to understand it correctly as it is, that is something else. And therefore when I say Bhagavan is Karmadhyaksha, we mean behind all my activities there is presence of God, not there is will of God. Behind my activities there is presence of God. I cannot perform an action without presupposing the presence of divinity. The universe can't exist without the presence of divinity behind it. There cannot be any law of karma without the presence of God. Therefore, nothing can be there. Nothing cannot be there also. You can't think in terms of presence or absence of anything without the presence of Ishvara. And that Parameshvara is Karmadhyaksha and Karmaprada, and that is Vedana. That's how it should be understood as Bhutapala. Yesha Setuhu Vidharane. Therefore, he is the Setuhu, he is the one who holds everything together. Meaning he sustains, his existence sustains the Jiva Jagat correlation intact. Yesha Setuhu Vidharane, like a dam holds water together, or a bridge holds the two banks together, something in a support. Here we should take it more, Setu should be taken here more as that which holds together. Water holds the wave together. If the wave is there, it holds the wave, water alone holds it. The wood holds the table together, in a manner of speaking. And similarly, Bhagavan holds the creation together. Setu. Vidharane. Vidharane means, together. Vidharana means support. Yesham Lokanam. Yesham Lokanam, he is the one that holds, he is the support for all these worlds. Yesham Lokanam. In sari lokon ka setu hai Bhagavan. Asambhedaya. In order that they don't fall apart. In order that they don't cease to exist. You see? Asambheda is minus the water, the wave can fall apart. What does it mean, Ji? Without water, the wave falls apart. What does it mean? It can't be there. That is Asambheda. This Asambheda does not mean without Ishvara this world will collapse, will be broken into pieces, darar pad jayenge वगैरह. ऐसा नहीं है. Without God's presence there would be no creation. That is called Asambhedaya. Minus the existence of the truth, the universe, meaning minus the substance, the form is not there. It's a very simple common sense statement. Without आटा there is no roti. हाँ स्वामी जी ये बड़ा अच्छा समझ में आता है. बस ये तो समझ में आता है जी, simple. Without atta, the substance, roti is a form. It is just a form. Otherwise the substance is atta, the wheat. So minus the atta, does the roti fall into pieces? Without atta there is no roti. There is no roti. Sometimes we use different words. Without the atta, the roti collapses. Then we take it collapses. We have got a meaning for collapsing. Like a mountain collapses, like a building collapses. Because it's not easy to get the right sense of a word. Here the right sense of a word means there is no roti. That is called the roti collapses, means it ceases to exist. Thus in Shastra Vyavahara there is a lot of discussion about Ishvara. It is also a kind of a Vyavahara. It's talking about there is a source, there is a creation, etc. But this is only a Vyavahara presupposing the need to understand Ishvara. Truth understood, then there is no Vyavahara. There is a lot of effort to go to sleep, but once you go to sleep, the effort ceases. The effort is not there. From the sleep point of view, the effort doesn't exist. Until I discover or until I reach sleep, there is effort. And that is the right effort. The effort to reach the realm of my peace. The effort to reach, the effort to understand myself. Thus, Shastra Vyavahara. Man's Vyavahara is, I don't believe in God. That is man's thinking. Shastra's teaching is, my dear sir, there is the truth. This is all a form. There is a reality in understanding which that dictates your happiness. The serenity, the peace of your being is determined by your understanding of the truth. Like when you are good, that dictates your satisfaction. When you are honest, your honesty dictates your inner satisfaction. It becomes really inevitable, choiceless. You can't avoid satisfaction when you are honest. Can you avoid it? When you serve your parents, can you avoid satisfaction? When you feed a hungry man, can you avoid satisfaction? You can't. When you do your duty honestly, can you avoid satisfaction? It choicelessly leads to some satisfaction. थोड़ा बहुत भी हो कोई बात नहीं, but it does. In the same manner, when you understand yourself, you can't avoid your fullness. You can't avoid your serenity. You can't avoid your peace. Tatha Ishvara Gita Swapi. So too, to this effect, it is said, Bhagavan Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita. Ishvara Gita means Bhagavad Gita, because Ishvara is Bhagavan. Ishvara Gita Swapi, in Bhagavad Gita Swapi, Bhagavan says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Junatishthati. God is there in the heart of all living beings. Rit Desha. In order to point out the aparoksha, you take all these problems. You use all these strategies. Hriddesha, right in your heart. God is there right in your heart. What does it mean? God is there right in your heart. It's a nice expression. What is wrong in that? God, Bhagavan is there right in your heart means it's not outside you, bas. It's not outside you. Right in your heart means not outside you. That's all that is the meaning. You don't have to dissect the body and then split the heart into pieces and look, there is there Bhagavan. These inner statements must be understood correctly. That's why अच्छी बात मूर्खों को कहे, वो कितनी भी अच्छी बात हो वो बुरा ही समझता है. He will misunderstand. That's why it's very problematic. That's why a student must have the knowledge of Prakarana. Prakarana Jnana is important. Sensible. That is when Bhagavan says God is in your heart means does not mean really the heart has been operated 1,000 times. And he is still limping. And then scientists here God says that He is there in everybody's heart, and you catch hold of a heart patient and make him a guinea pig and then dissect his heart to look into it just to find out is there. And even scientists say, we have seen all that, but there is no God in the heart. There are only blockages. There are only blockages. There is no divinity there. In this manner they think, my dear sir, in your heart means it's not other than you. It's not outside you. When the wave is told, water is there right in your heart, what does it mean, Ji? Wave is told, the water is right in your heart. What does it mean? It is within, not without. It should be. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna. That it is not outside you, how do you convey to a layman? God is not outside you. How do you convey it in simple language? It's not outside you, can be conveyed only by this sentence. It is there right in your heart, in your being. Heart means being, it is in your heart. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani. And ununderstood, the same truth in one's heart, ununderstood, dilutes a person. Brahmayan, deluding a person, Brahmayan sarvabhutani. All the individuals, even though you say the truth ununderstood only dilutes everybody. Dilutes everybody, one gets deluded when he doesn't understand himself. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. Like even the merry-go-round, yantra rudhani maya, through maya. Maya means with a sense of reality about the names and forms. How does Maya take people on a trip? That is because I look at the names and forms as real. My sense of reality about the world puts me on a trip. That is called Maya, takes me for a ride. Every wrong conclusion is a Maya only. That object will make me happy, it's Maya. It is contrary to the truth. My thinking contrary to the truth is Maya. Clear? Yes. What is there, Ji? Our thinking contrary to the truth is all Maya. What else? Call it Maya, call it avidya. In Srishti Prakriya, we can call it as Maya. Fundamentally it is because Maya itself in the names and forms themselves are false because they are born of self-ignorance. If I don't work, I will get more happiness. That's also Maya. If I go on sitting down in the drawing room, let my sister-in-law work, let me not work, bada anand aata hai. This is also Maya because you will lose your health by sitting quiet. You better do something which will benefit you, plus some grace will come. Yes. Because karma will have its phalam, ji. And you can only relax from the karma only for doing vichara, not otherwise. Otherwise, wo kya karna, ji? You can relax from the karma only if I want to be reflect. When I am not reflecting, then I should get occupied with the duties. It's nice to be doing my duties. Yantra rudhani maya. Therefore, man is on a trip. He struggles and suffers due to Maya, means due to his sense of reality. Meaning his thinking contrary to the reality. If I get more money, I will be more happy. That is Maya, contrary to that is not the truth. Maybe if you have more money, you will have a bigger house, not more happiness. You can have really more gold, you can have better furniture, etc. But maybe in the midst of all those expensive things, you can be miserable. Is it not possible? Because ultimately it is the quality of the person that dictates his happiness. If the quality of the person is very low, if he is a shoddy person, his thinking is shoddy thinking, and even if he has a lot of money, it's of no use. Ultimately, my happiness has to come from my quality thinking, my right thinking. And the quality thinking and right thinking means not contrary to the truth, not contrary to the Shastra, not contrary to what the scripture says, your happiness depends upon the quality of your thinking. Your happiness is your nature, and you will be able to understand it through the right thinking. Therefore, if your thinking is not a quality thinking, it's making noise. Thoda sa kam karna. If one's thinking is not quality thinking, then even if you have quality house, quality cook, quality Ramu, quality colony, living in posh colony, what will you do, ji? And therefore, every person, when he doesn't give attention to his quality thinking, he becomes a shoddy person. That's why we have to be exposed to Vedanta so that we think correctly. Then, therefore, here, iti, and therefore, thus, in Paramartha, there is no Vyavahara. When there is Vyavahara, there is Paramartha. But in Paramartha, there is no Vyavahara. Neither there is Jiva Vyavahara, nor there is Ishvara Vyavahara. Ishvara Vyavahara means source, creation, this kind of Vyavahara, Shastra Vyavahara. Like in sleep, the scripture is not there, the lullaby. Soja Rajakumara. When you say, when you tell this Rajakumara, then the child becomes great. Feels very happy. Mummy is describing me as Rajakumara. Maybe there is something in it. So there is this lullaby is called the scripture. But once you fall asleep, there is no lullaby also, ji. The lullaby cannot follow you, cannot give you company into the sleep. Once you fall asleep, there is no lullaby. This is a very important point. Vyavahara exists only from either it is avidyakam, call it, either it is jiva vyavahara or it is shastra. There are only two vyavaharas, jiva vyavahara and pramana vyavahara. Jiva vyavahara, man thinks independent of the scripture, whatever man thinks about himself is called jiva vyavahara. Whereas what the scripture teaches to the jiva is called Shastra Vyavahara. But when inside the truth, in the truth there is neither jiva Vyavahara nor Shastra Vyavahara. I coined three words: problem, prakriya and the vastu. Problem is avidya, prakriya is the Shastra. In the vastu there is neither problem nor prakriya. Atra avidya kalpita nama rupa bija vyakaranameva brahmana jagat karanattvamiti yatha udakrita bhashya vakyad avagamyate. So the above bhashya vakyas make it very clear. When we say God created, it doesn't mean He used His will and created. In His presence, the unmanifest becomes manifest. In the presence of water, the wave becomes manifest. Not that the water makes a will. Not the water wills to create a. Just as the inert cannot will, the absolute conscious being also cannot will. Yes. The inert cannot will because it's inert. And the consciousness as absolute conscious being, as unlimited being also cannot will. It can be, not will. Willing is an action, and that is in the realm of avidya. Therefore, avidya kalpita nama rupa bija vakaranameva brahmanaha jagat karanattvamiti. Therefore, when you say God is the creator of the universe, don't imagine He has a will and He thinks and He creates. He is only present. In His presence, the unmanifest names and forms become manifest. And that is what is called. We can't even say really He makes them manifest. उसमें भी problem हो जाता है. In His presence, the unmanifest becomes manifest. Because it is the nature of the unmanifest to become manifest. What is there? It is the nature of the silent wave. It is the nature of the unmanifest wave to become manifest. It is the nature. That is what we mean Jagat Karanatvam. Jagat Karanatvam iti yatha udakrita bhashya vakyad avagamyate. It is understood through the above quoted bhashyam that God created the universe does not mean He creates the universe just as you and I create a house or create a pot or something. In His presence, the unmanifest becomes manifest to us. Etaccha srishti prakriya parishilane vitatya pradarshayishyamaha. Etaccha evat srishti prakriya parishilane. While analyzing the srishti prakriya in later on, vitatya means elaborately. Tan dhatu se bani hai. Tan means elaborate. Vitatya means what? Elaborately. Bahulyena vitatya pradarshayishyamaha, we will show. All this we will show, sir. When we say God is the creator, we mean only in His presence the unmanifest becomes manifest, presupposing His presence. All this we will show later on when this Srishti Prakriya comes. Clear? Pradarshayishyamaha atra tu, but whereas right now Jignasubihi idameva manasi karaniyam. By the students only this has to be kept in mind. Don't think of too many things. Right now, while reading this page, what should you remember? This is what you have to keep in mind. Atra tu jignasubihi idameva manasi karaniyam. This must be kept in mind. Yat yatrapi nirasta sarva visesham brahma pratipadayishitam tatrapi bhashakaraihi tadeva nirvisesham brahma shrutyanusarena jagat karanamiti vyavahriyate ishvara shabdena vyapadishyate chayati. It is the Param Brahman that is described as the Jagat Karan. Ishvara and Brahma are not two things. It is the Brahman, the Advitiyam Brahman, the Nirvisesham Brahman, the non-dual truth is described as the source of the Jagat. It doesn't mean Ishvara is a little junior and Brahman is a little senior. ऐसा नहीं. It is the same truth. In relation to the Jagat, it is called Ishvara. And the same Ishvara from his own point of view is Brahman. Therefore, Brahman and Ishvara are not two things. It is the Nirvisesham Brahman that is described as Jagat Karan. It is the Nirvisesham Brahma that is the Nirvisesham Brahma that is described as Jagat Karanam, as Ishvara, and therefore don't believe in some of the American, some of the European translators who say that Brahman is the highest, lower down is Ishvara, etc. And he should be bundled up and thrown into Gangaji. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai, Ganga Maya ki jai. Yes, but Gangaji also will not like it. Yes. A lot of Europeans come and meddle with this without knowing Sanskrit, without having any Shastriya Sanskara. Shastra Sanskar nahi hai. Kuch bhi bol dete. How can? And then they say Brahma is the highest. Then comes the lower down is Ishvara. And that is one thing. Or Brahma is the highest. Then Vishnu is the middle one. And Shiva is the youngest. Hey, what are you talking? Same truth as the source is Brahmaji, the same truth as the supporter is called Vishnu, the same truth as the resolving point is called Shiva. It is one truth portrayed as three, because you are the son also, you are the father also, and you are the officer also. Now how many are there? There is one son, one father, and one officer. But the person to ek hi hai. You are the same one person. Why I say these are such beautiful things. This Vedic thinking is so beautiful, made accessible to a layman. But then when you say things like this into layman, but even the educated people start misunderstanding it. A layman understands correctly. But it is the educated who create problems. The intelligentsia of this nation, the intelligentsia of this nation is the problem. Because a poor man से भगवान तो एक ही है, उनका कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. भगवान तो एक ही है. But the educated people, quibble. Because उनका तो भूख नहीं है. अगर भूख होता तो sometimes if you are poor, then you are busy working for your do roti. If you have got a lot of money, then you don't have any work. Then the mind becomes really vagabondish. Idle mind. Then you start quibbling. Yes, that's true. Ishvara shabdena vyapadishyate cha iti tad yatha. And now I am going to read one bhashyam, Sutra bhashyam, nice. Evam praptya vidiyate yoyam adrishyattvadi gunakaha bhutayonihi. This adrishyattvadi gunakaha bhutayonihi, the source of the universe free from all the visible qualities, all physical qualities, that's all. Adrishyattvadi Gunakaha bhutayonihi sa parameshwaraha eva syat nanyaha. The one who is free from all the physical qualities is none other than Parameshwara. Syat nanyaha iti kathametadavagamyate dharmoktehe parameshwarasya hi dharmaha vichamanaha drishyate. We can't say as the source of the gunas, but yet unqualified by the gunas, is indeed Ishvara. Parameshwarasya dharmaha iha uchyamanaha drishyate. This is a description of Parameshwara, unqualified by the physical attributes. You can't say Brahman is unqualified Ishvara is only the source. The very source of the dharma, the very source of the universe is not qualified, is unqualified. Ishvara is the source and Brahman is unqualified. Nine. The very source of the universe is unqualified. It is untainted. Yes. And therefore some of the misconceptions are Ishvara is the Jagat Karanam, Brahman is free from Karya Karana Bhava. No, the very source of the Jagat, the very Karanam of Jagat from the Swarupa Drishya, it is free from Karya Karana Bhava. Ishvara is the Karanam and someone up, he is free from Karya Karana Bhava. 9. The very source of the Jagat, Ishvara, is also free from Karya Karana Bhava. The very husband is free from being a husband. From the wife drishti, you are a husband. From your own drishti, you are just an individual. Therefore, the very husband is free from being a husband. From another point of view. From one point of view, you are a husband. From your own point of view, you are not any husband. You are at once husband and not husband. Wow. So Ishvara is at once the Jagat Karanam and also non-dual. Similarly, man also is at once the husband and non-dual. He is at once the officer and non-dual. He is at once the son and non-dual. From your own point of view, you are none of these roles. You are none of these labels. But I always look at myself from the external point of view, not from my own point of view. That is the problem. I look at myself, I judge myself always from external point of view. That is from what I say. I am a rich man. That means seeing money, I say I am a rich man. Looking at wife, say I am a husband. Thinking of children, I say I am a father. Thinking of the office, I am an officer. Looking at the age of the body, say I am an old man, etc. etc. You understand, That means man never drifts from the Adhyaropa Drishti, from the external point of view of himself to his view about himself from his own point of view. He never thinks of his view, he just lives on collecting labels. The more roles you play, the more you are active in this world, then you carry more labels. These days I have become a Rotary Club president also, so that is another label. Why? Because I look at myself only from the external points of view, and those points can be countless. I look at my existence from the external points of view. And I look a joker. I look an individual. Father, son, husband, wife, office man, rich man, poor man, young man, old man. Even the body is an external point of view. Even emotions are an external point of view. When you are angry, say I am an angry man, he is an angry man, like this. So when I judge myself through my emotions, that is also judging myself through the external points of view. If I judge myself from my education point of view, that is also judging myself from the external point of view. I am a master. I have done masters, etc., etc. I am a musician. Thus, man goes on looking at himself from the external points of view. The Swarupa Drishti is not possible. And you know what is the Swarupa Drishti has got? Minus all these things, I am not there. That is the Swarupa. This is called the Adhyasa. Minus all the external points of view of myself, I don't exist. Iti akshara shabdavachyasya bhutayonitvam parameshwaratvam cha uktam akshara shabdoktam cha iha nirvishesham brahma. Akshara shabdavachyasya eva. The exact meaning of the word akshar. Akshar means the imperishable. The imperishable means the eternal. The eternal means Brahman. Bhutayonitvam. Therefore it is the nirvishesham that is described as Bhutayoni, as the Jagat Karanam. Don't say Savishesha is Jagat Karanam, Nirvishesha is not Jagat Karanam, don't say. It is the Nirvishesham that is conveyed by the Shruti as Jagat Karanam. Why? Because Jagat doesn't bring about any Savisheshatvam in the Brahman. Jagat cannot taint the Brahman. Therefore it is not the lower down that is Jagat Karanam. To be a source of the universe is not a minus point. Truth itself explains away everything and remains itself the truth. Nirvishesham Brahma tatha sacha ambaranta dhritihi ambaranta dhritihi parameshwarasya karma. Sacha ambarantasya dhritihi. Just another few minutes. You know, if the truth is described as something that holds the whole universe together, it is not, Shruti is not referring to something less than the truth. It is the same Brahman which is conveyed to man as the Jagat Karanam that holds the everything together. Like Ambaranta. Ambara means Akasha. Ambaranta means from Prithvi onwards. The earth, the water, the air, the fire and the space. So if you count from the grossest, then you culminate in Ambara. Dhritihi means holding together. That's why these days, dhairya rakho. Thodi din ki problems hai. Don't be influenced by these jokers who say, मोदी ने पूरा गड़बड़ कर दिया, सारी लोगों को तकलीफ दे. कोई नहीं, nobody is complaining. Everybody is standing in the queue and they are all very happy. Why are you coming? Just to disturb. So some of these politicians go and then stand in the queues. Because very good opportunity for publicity. It's all meaningless. They say, now the media says, hold on. धैर्य रखो, कुछ दिन, 2-4 दिन की बात है, धैर्य रखो. That dhairya means hold yourself together. Don't fall apart. Don't fall apart. Don't react. Hold together peacefully. धैर्य रखो. इस तरह से इस दुनिया को भी that which holds the universe together, that which holds the universe together is none other than Brahman. Parameshwarasya karma. Only truth, only Parameshwara can hold the universe together. But Parameshwara is not other than Brahman. Parameshwara, Brahman in relation to the universe as Jagat Karanam is called Parameshwara. The same individual in relation to the wife is called husband. Kasmat prashasanat prashasanam hiha shruyate etasya vakṣarasya prashasane gargi surya chandramasau vidhrutau tishtataha ityadi prashasanam ca parameshwaram karma na chetanasya pradhanasya. To sustain the universe is what is called ruling done by Ishvara. God rules the universe means God sustains the universe. And this sustaining the universe is not the job of inert matter, because matter itself is sustained. matter itself depends upon the conscious being. And therefore the sustainer of the universe is Parameshvara. To sustain is what is called being a ruler. His presence sustain, like the water by its simple presence sustains the wave. As the sustainer of the wave, the water can be described as the ruler of the wave. Clear? Therefore, it is the conscious that sustains the matter, not the matter that sustains the matter. Not Pradhan. भगवान को थोड़ा मौका मिल गया सांख्यवादी को थोड़ा रेफ्यूट करने के लिए। Able to follow? Na chetanasya pradhanasya iti bhashyam. That is over, ji. We'll continue it later on. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Ishwaratvam is only Shastra Vyavahara. And Shastra Vyavahara also doesn't qualify Ishvara. This is the topic. Thus there is a difference between Paramartha and Vyavahara. Vyavahara is two kinds, Jiva Vyavahara and Shastra Vyavahara. And neither qualifies the two. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai, Ganga Maiya ki jai.